All right, good evening and welcome to our weekly Arrows Out Zoom call. I am Nicole Barker, for those who haven't met me before, and we do these calls once every week. We do them on Monday nights at 8:30, and we like to keep them short. We know that everybody's busy, so we have a hard stop. We try to get out here between 25 and 30 minutes, so we just jump right in and get going, but please feel free to stop me, ask questions, whatever you feel like to get the most out of this for you, because that's really what this is about, is this community and helping each other along the way here. So first of all, I want to jump in. Typically, we will start these with sharing a little bit of a testimony. The person that was supposed to share tonight was unable last minute to be on the call. Is there anyone that would like to share their story? I won't put anybody on the spot. I can certainly tell you, I received a text message this morning from someone on our team. I will let that remain pretty private. Someone that's a wholesale ambassador, has been with us for a while, that said that they had just seen their doctor for their annual checkup, was taken off of their thyroid medication that they have been on for the last 10 years. They are attempting to wean themselves off with doctor recommendation of their anxiety antidepressant medication. They've also lost a little over 20 pounds and really starting to feel like things are clicking in a way they haven't before. Energy, mood, being able to work out, wanting to jump in and drink the water with us. So I love hearing messages like this, because this isn't something that just is a once in a while kind of thing. I get these messages and it makes me so happy. This is someone who has used Triplex from the beginning and started adding in the X Factor Plus when it became available last summer, and then within these last few months has also added ease to the regimen and has seen a significant reduction in inflammation and help with those thyroid issues with adding ease. So that was kind of one of those things I was like, oh my gosh, I've heard a lot of those recently. We've had several individuals that have started using ease in their regimens and have really found great results, and it's just always fun to get those messages and hear what people are doing and what's changing. So I thought I would share that with you if nobody wanted to jump in. So, and next week, I promise you, I will have someone on the call that's actually sharing their story too. But tonight I'm excited, elated, pumped. Kelly always gives me a hard time for all my words that I use, but I think this is a really important topic. So this is a good one to just jump in with and talk. So again, stop me hold on, I gotta grab my notes. I'm a little disappointed. I did have a presentation to share with you guys, but sometimes you gotta click save when you're doing some things. So you just wing it when it doesn't happen, right? Okay, so what we're going to be talking about is social media in the next couple of weeks. And this is something, obviously, we do a lot of in Plexus, okay? This was actually one of the main things that kind of kept me away from Plexus for a while, because I saw those posts from my friend, and I was kind of annoyed, kind of rolled my eyes, kind of thought, not me. And then once I did finally decide, okay, I'm going to do that, I think the first things out of my mouth were, but I'm not posting on Facebook. Okay. I see a lot of like nods and laughs, because I think every single one of you may have told me that at one point or another. And trust me, I was the queen of, I'm not posting on Facebook. And I think that's why I really love these strategies now, because it's really changing the way we're doing things from how we've done it in the past, but it's also creating such of a greater impact. Okay, so you might have seen I said how we can get this impact on Facebook. So the biggest issue on Facebook is getting our posts seen, okay? It doesn't matter what we're putting out there if no one's going to see it, right? If man is wrong in the forest, does a woman know, or whatever that is something like that, right? But if it's out there and it's just sitting on an island and no one can see it and view it, it's not doing us any good. And so Facebook, you might have heard something like Facebook algorithms, all this kind of blah, blah, blah. Okay. Basically, we want to help you be able to be seen on Facebook. Every 20 minutes on Facebook, 1 million links are shared. 4.86 million photos are uploaded. Guys, this is every 20 minutes on Facebook. 763,888 status updates are sent out. So basically what's happening, there's way too much happening. And our posts are getting lost. So you might have found that for some of us who've been around for a while, we used to get, all these likes on our posts, and we'd get all this we could post something and it would just blow up with likes and information. And many of us are finding that that's not quite the case anymore. And so I started looking into kind of what this was about, because obviously this is something that we use a great deal. And we want to, so basically the reason what these algorithms are doing is it's done by Facebook to help Facebook determine in their computer language. If you computer people out there, if you're just sitting here laughing at me botching all these terms and everything else, sorry. But these algorithms are basically saying, okay, Facebook wants to share content, but there's so much coming in at once. How do they share it, and what's the priority in which they share it? Okay, so this is a formula designated to each user that then gets a score. Okay, so the higher that score is, the more people that we're going to actually show this post to. But something that we thought initially, and for a little while it worked, was we want to get those likes, right? We want to get those likes. We want to get a few comments, really help each other to share things because of those things. And now that has changed even more to where engagement is key. What is engagement? Engagement looks like individuals actually wanting to communicate with you about a post. Okay, this doesn't equate to just those likes. This doesn't equate to just clicking, the heart or whatever. This is going to look like individuals that are actually contributing their information and some discussion going on throughout the thread. Every time some of that happens within those posts, that's going to increase that score. Okay, now, if we were looking at this in a way that we're like, okay, we're just increasing the score, but it's so much more than that. And I think many of you who've been around for a little while may have realized kind of this transition. It used to be how often should I post? What type of content should I post sort of thing. And for a lot of years, in fact, many of us, started our business in this time. Many of our leaders actually, built their businesses during this time. It was all about the more you can post, the better. Post 4 to 6 times a day. Just get it out there, in hopes that people will see one of those posts, that it'll stick one time or another. And that whole idea of flooding the content is really what's created kind of what we're dealing with now. And so now that approach no longer works, because oftentimes we're competing with our own content. I'm posting 4 to 6 times a day. I may be competing with my post from 10 o'clock at noon, okay? Because there's only so many posts that can be seen. But cool thing is we figured out how to work around these things and how we can create some impact by sharing with quality content. Okay, so we're going to start through this in this week, and we're going to talk a little bit about what this looks like. Don't panic. I've done it wrong myself. I've taught many of you wrong. But the thing is that we're going to now, moving forward, be able to correct that and start creating these more engaging posts. Start using this as attraction, bringing people in, people wanting to talk with you, ask questions, piquing interest. So the new strategy, no more posting 4 to 6 times a day. Okay, 2 to 3 times is really optimal. We want to, again, have that quality over quantity. But we also want to have good content, okay? So we want to focus on driving engagement in our posts. We want to be creating real conversations with people. Facebook is all about relationships. And that is what we want to be creating. And so it's a great way to start kind of turning our gears. If you think about it as our Facebook profile, our social media presence, wherever that might be, is a TV channel, okay? Do people want to tune in to the Corinne Peck channel, to the Terry Patrick channel? What are they expecting to get? I love that smile, Terry. What do people expect to get when they tune in to your channel? Would you watch that channel if that was the only thing playing 24 hours a day? Okay. And and what if it was 24 hours a day of a Plexus commercial? What if it was 24 hours a day, Plexus, Plexus, Plexus? This is all this woman posts about. Do you think anyone is really tuning in to check in and see what Nicole's pink drink looks like today when she holds it up and takes a picture of it? Okay. Okay. So some of these are a little harsh on myself. I feel it. I understand it because I'm like, oh, that's totally what I've been doing for a long time. And that's okay, guys. The cool part is things are changing. And what may have worked yesterday is not working today. And so we have that insight to be able to move forward and to change that. But I love the thought about really creating impact. And that's so much of what this group is about. We're not here just to sell products. If we were here to sell products, we could sell anything. And for those of you who know me, know that I cannot sell anything because it's about so much more than that for me. I've tried to sell in the past and I failed pretty miserably because it wasn't something that I was connected with. Okay. And that's where we have this amazing, benefit with what we get to do in what we get to sell and what we get to share. So I want you guys all to kind of do a Facebook audit, okay? So challenge after this call is to go to your Facebook page and I want you to look over those last 10 posts. How many likes, comments, or shares do you have? How much of your current engagement is coming from our team members versus real prospects and customers? The future on this business, I love what they've said here. It depends on being able to adapt and change with the most up-to-date social media strategies. And that includes changing our habits to fit this Facebook algorithm. So let's talk about what we should be posting, okay? We've been talking about what we shouldn't, and I don't like talking in negatives because I have 2 little ones and we all know that whatever we say don't do is the first thing they jump to doing, right? Okay, so I'm saying don't. Let's talk about what we should do, right? Okay, I love this thought. Educate, entertain, empower, okay? Think of our posts as doing those things. We can't do them all at once, right? Okay. People are our friends to follow us, to follow our lives. I want you each to think about these 3 elements, but also to think about what you want your page to say about you. This is a really unique point in which we get to think about what do we want people to think about us. What do we want the Nicole Barker brand to look like? What do we want the Amber Mays brand to look like? And start differentiating some words that we think, for me, some of the things that I really focus on my page are, I like to learn out loud. So if I've learned something, I like to share it. It's an easy way to not sound like you are a busybody or you know everything, but that you didn't know it, now you do. I want to share it with somebody else. Okay, so that learning out loud concept is a really great way to take in that educate part. Okay, so educating. And guys, this can be, it doesn't, just because we're not talking plexus, it doesn't mean it can't be about an ingredient you learned about. I shared something on Instagram yesterday about turmeric, and I just showed a bottle of turmeric that I was putting in my bone broth I was making. And I have had so many people write me and ask me what this stuff is and what it does. And I've been able to tell them all of the awesome anti-inflammatory characteristics that this product has. And this wasn't even about, this was a spice. This wasn't about a particular product. But then I was able to segue and say, yes, I've had experience with one of our products. It has turmeric in it, et cetera, et cetera. So it is a great door opener to just help educate. Entertain. Okay, so entertaining. What are things, these are things that you're doing to help people get to know you, okay? Maybe it's something that happened. Maybe it's letting down that vulnerability of, here's all of, I shared something that was like, here's all my beautiful family at Easter, all dressed up and pretty. Here's us afterwards, my daughter in her Pikachu costume with no pants. Like, this is real life. And those are the things that kind of help make us more relatable as people. It helps people to feel connected to us. And it helps them to give them a little glimpse that this isn't perfect. This isn't that cookie cutter, Facebook highlight reel. This is real life. And because we're also expecting people to connect with us about things like poop. I mean, you got to be approachable. You can't just be this pretty girl that never poops and is all stuffy and doesn't want to talk about stuff like that. You have to be real. And if that's not you, I'm not typically a girl that talks about poop, so that's just kind of my personality. But it's changed. I have children and a husband who is sick, and God help me. He's been sick for 3 days. He's been in bed. And that is one harm of being a plexus family, is no one's ever sick. So when people are sick, they're dying. Absolutely dying, think they're sick because they don't know how to be sick anymore. Like what? We still get up and function. Anyway, so that's my life. But some of those things to kind of entertain. And it's not necessarily things that are always funny. Maybe it's just giving a glimpse of what your life looks like. Maybe it's showing what the kitchen looks like in the corner that you didn't take the picture. Don't tell me you guys have never tried to find some corner you can take a picture that's not messy because, yeah. Or is that just me? And then you take a picture of the other stuff. It's just putting that veil down and being a real person. Empowering. These are really great posts. It's the Monday motivation. It's the this horrible thing happened, but you know what? I'm gonna suck it up, and I'm gonna do this. We're not saying that plexus people are perfect. Gosh, we all know that we're not. But the idea is that we're people that empower each other, that we motivate, inspire, lift each other when we're down. This incredible tribe is here to support us, and that these products have made us better. These products have really helped us in our lives, our journeys, our anxieties, our stress, our moments that we might have. And so all of those things kind of coming together are great ways to help empower. Maybe it's a book you read. Maybe it's a song you heard on the radio. I love the thought of learning out loud. I just think it's an incredible way of sharing things with people. And that can be on a whole lot of levels. Sometimes some of those engaging posts are asking for recipes, saying that you're trying to, maybe you're trying out Meatless Monday. I've seen a lot of Meatless Monday posts today. And sorry, somebody ran into the wall. But maybe asking for recipes on that. Maybe asking for advice. Maybe showing something that you're doing in your house and asking for opinions or asking where you might find something. Those are all really great ways to engage and create those conversations. And so that kind of takes us to, I'm going to touch on some of these other things this week, but I really want to talk about the 10-10, okay? So this 10-10 tip, okay, when we do post on Facebook. So maybe you have something that you've thought about, that you've learned. This doesn't have to be something you've learned about Plexus. This can be something you've learned. You know, for me, it was, I had a thing this morning. I learned something with my son. My son's always asking questions. So something about having an 8-year-old that's always asking questions, we look for the answers to these questions. And so I learned a lot along the way myself. And so Hudson was asking me today, we took him to the doctor and they did a strep test, okay? So they did the culture of his throat. And he wanted to know what happens after they do that. Oh, magic? Like they just know yes or no? Like I don't know. So we watched a video while we're sitting there in the office waiting for the 5-minute test. We pulled up YouTube and we watched a video of what the process is. So little things like that you might learn along the way, might share like, hey, did anybody know this? Somebody shared with me today that I was drinking all this water, sent me a message and said, hey, you need to be adding pink Himalayan salt to your water. Here's all the awesome benefits of it. Huh? I didn't know this. So I'm going to share that tomorrow. Okay. So any of these little things that we start learning along the way are really great ways. One tip that I have learned to do this, start keeping a log in your phone, notes section of funny things that you've learned, a book that you've heard to read, different things, just when you have them or just as you're processing it. Those are great ways to start feeding that funnel of things that you can post about. Because again, we're not wanting to post that 4 to 6 times, like bam, 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 bam. And if you're anything like me, you have a lot of good ideas all at once and then crickets, at least for me, crickets for a while. But if you have a running note list or, kind of things that you would like to ask about, hey, I posted the other day, I'm reading a new book. Is anybody reading this? Who's read it? What did you think about it? Some of those things, whatever it is that you hear about. But those are great tips. So that 10-10 rule, rounding back out to that, is that algorithm again, okay? Algorithm. I wish I would call it something different. It doesn't sound so boring. Is that Facebook is rewarding people who are being social, who are engaging. So those 10 minutes before you're going to make that post about reading that book, about sharing that ingredient, about whatever you learned about with whatever, that entertaining post. So that 10 minutes before, get into Facebook. Start looking at potentials or friends. I'm just saying non-Plexus people here. Look at their content, okay? Go into their pages. If I know that my friend Sarah is really into reading books, I'm going to go to Sarah's page and see what Sarah's been up to recently and comment on something. Maybe ask her a question in one of her posts. You know what that's going to do? That's going to start telling Facebook, this girl's engaging on Facebook. So then, you know what I can do? I can talk to Sarah. I can talk to Tanya. I can talk to Melissa, I can talk to Jen, I can talk to all these different people. And then when I go to post on Facebook, those people are going to see that post. So if you have someone in mind that you're making a post and think, so-and-so would really like this. I really want to be talking to her. Go to their page. Start talking, start engaging with them, then make your post. Then in those 10 minutes after, okay, so we're talking 10-10, 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after. That's when we are engaging within that post. So say Sarah then has seen it because I had just been on her page. So she sees it and says, oh my gosh, Nicole, I was wanting to read this book. I just started it today, da-da-da-da-da. Where did you hear about it? I heard about it at this place. So start that engagement within the conversation. Okay. Now, before, it's another thing. We had always been taught that pull it out of that conversation, get to a private message. We want to get them private. We want to start talking to them. It sounds kind of creepy when you say it like that. But we want to start having a private conversation with them so they can share, right? Yes. If we're talking like serious information, again, if we're talking products and we're talking poop and we're talking all these things, sure, let's do that. But in talking about engaging about a book, we're going to want to create a conversation within that post, because one thing I've also seen is once you start conversing about something, often someone else joins in. And then you have another person say, well, no, it wasn't available on Amazon, but I found it at X. Or here's the link where I found it online. That one's great, but you know what else is great? And offering another suggestion. Guys, it's so much fun to be engaging socially this way. It makes it a lot less awkward when I send Sarah a message and said, hey, Sarah, you've been on my mind. I think that this may or may not be for you, but I would love to have you on my Plexus team. She's been talking to me. It's not totally random because I've been talking to Sarah. Is this kind of clear as mud? Okay. So I don't want you guys to feel as though the one thing that when you start talking about things like algorithms and equations and the way things work, it starts sounding as though you're being inauthentic and you start sounding like you're trying to play the game. That's not what this is about at all. This is about making the biggest impact with what we can do. And that's exactly what our efforts are doing right now, is making this fit into the nooks and crannies. So however we can do it to work smarter, not harder, is going to be that best bang for our time. And I know everybody's busy. There's a reason why the busiest people are also my most successful ambassadors here, because they are the ones that are continually talking, engaging, interacting with people. And that's when those Plexus conversations come up authentically, genuinely, and that's when real things start to happen. So if you're new here, don't be overwhelmed. I did it again. Not don't be overwhelmed. Feel open to the fact that you can post about anything you want. There's no rules. There's no, I have to post about this. I want you to post as if you're running into somebody at the grocery store. Okay? Think of it that way. You wouldn't run up to someone at the grocery store that you haven't seen in 6 years and go, oh my gosh, do you want to try Plexus Slim? It has all of these ingredients, da-da-da-da-da. No, we wouldn't do that. I mean, Terry probably would. And then she'd pull some out of her purse and everyone would be like, whoa, where'd that come from? Because she has a magic purse where she pulls out samples. This girl is amazing. But like, we're not all Terry, right, Terry? I mean, I kind of wish we were all Terry, but still. But that's kind of the whole premise behind this, is we want to make sure that we are being, we're being really social. Okay? Stop worrying about doing social media. Stop worrying about what to post or how to post, and just post, interact, engage, start connecting with people, because that is exactly what it's there for. And that's when we're going to start creating those authentic relationships that's building and growing teams and businesses, right? What questions do you guys have? It's 8:59. Are you impressed? Any questions?